Good morning. Hello. I'm glad you have time to meet. Our meeting is about the cycle of releasing emotions. Just as we feed our body, there is a lunch break. We need to stop and see what is inside us today. What is going on? What emotions come to the fore? So that this energy level does not decrease. And today, we're just going to do a fear release. It is so common nowadays that each of us will find it useful. I will say a few words about this, because understanding it is very important. Thanks to this, we go deeper into these various processes and dig for the truth. We need understanding at the mental level in order to receive and accept a given emotion, because without it there is no release. Yes. The release process will not take place without acceptance of a given emotion, and part of acceptance is understanding. For me, understanding is at the level of the mind, and acceptance is at the level of the heart. Moreover, acceptance is also a very high level of awareness. Well, just as an introduction, President Roosevelt once said, more or less, that what we have to fear most is our fear, and it gets stronger when we resist it. Then it has the greatest impact on every area of our lives. Fear that is suppressed, repressed. We have quite a high level of anxiety among people right now, in general, and in economic and political terms. It is even greater than at the beginning of the pandemic. So I also feel that he is actually bigger. And to release each emotion, we first need to realize that we even have that emotion. Take this test, here and now. What is your energy level on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you feeling now? You can close your eyes, breathe for a moment, and then you will see this number. You will simply intuitively know that my energy level today is. And you finish? How much do you feel? How much is it? You can write, you can share, but this information is mainly for you. What is your energy level today? What is your tension level? This is the second factor, because we can have high energy levels, but also high tension levels. Because we can resist, what is, like fight. That we are fighting against everything that happens with life, right? We may have this energy for some time, but it will run out because it is a constant struggle, a suffering. But the tension is high for now. So check what your energy level is today, and what the tension level is in your body. This is the first information for you, whether you suppress any emotions or not, whether you are up to date with these emotions, and use this process of freeing yourself from emotions, from the energy that pulls you down. So it is necessary to realize that we feel, or suppress these emotions somewhere, for example fear. This is an essential step. Just admitting that you feel this fear begins the process of release. Why? Because you are reaching the level of courage. By dealing with your emotions, releasing your emotions, you enter the level of courage. And this is level 200. Courage. This is taking responsibility for your emotions, for your thoughts, for what you give to the world every day, for other people, your loved ones, what energy you are today. It is very important what your day will look like. And we have effective tools to deal with the energy that we have inside us, which we took over unconsciously. We took over from innocence, out of naivety already in childhood. Yes, this is also anxiety, where anxiety is inherited. The technique of releasing emotions has a very positive impact on a person. Many people have read Hawkins, or otherwise heard about the release technique, but have not understood the technique. And when someone does not understand, they cannot accept it and apply this method in their lives. There will be a blockage at the level of the mind. You won't go any further with this, so it's worth listening to it in peace. Today we will enter the process of releasing fear, also generational fear. This is very important to us at this time. We need to realize that we have some limitations, that there are some programs, and then you become a brave person, because a brave person is able to admit his limitations. And courage, as you see, has much more energy than fear. Fear is level 100, and courage is 200 on Hawkins' consciousness map. So the next step to releasing emotions is willingness and acceptance. We also need to enter these levels of consciousness, at least for a moment. Take this emotion into ourselves. The acceptance level is the acceptance of felt emotions, along with all the thoughts that appear, along with reactions in the body. Because these are also specific reactions in the body, that is, you accept everything because you know that an emotion is energy information. It is a certain frequency. It is a program passed down from generation to generation in order to survive. This is not the point. Fear is used when there is a threat here and now. For example, a car is hitting you and you jump away. You need this fight-flight mechanism to survive. However, the fear you feel every day has nothing to do with the real threat here and now. It is only your mind. These are your thoughts, your interpretations, your repressed energy of fear, also generational fear. It's in you. And you start to recreate it. Acceptance, i.e., accepting that we have these programs, that we have these suppressed emotions inside us, as they appear with these thoughts, with these sensations in the body. Remember, acceptance is not passivity. This is the opposite pole, because powerlessness, passivity, apathy, has a very low level of consciousness. It is a form of resignation. Acceptance, in turn, means forgiving yourself. This is where real activity comes in and where we create our lives on our own terms, with a lot of energy at our disposal. And therefore, by accepting this emotion and understanding it, we enter the process of release and do it. You need to understand these emotions in order to receive them, to accept them. That's why we talk about them. Acceptance means adopting a gentle, loving attitude towards yourself, your own history and programmed reactions. Thanks to this, you will be able to gain greater awareness of your own experience, which you can contemplate carefully and calmly, like a fragile object held in your hands. So the point is to accept what is happening to you with love and respect. Don't resist it, don't criticize yourself, don't criticize others. Just accept it with love, dignity, and respect. This is acceptance and readiness to do something about it. Because acceptance is readiness for an active reaction to this emotion. So it's not like at low levels, when we just sit in these emotions, we get stuck in them, we keep rehashing them, and we sit in a swamp. Only the level of courage, readiness, and acceptance makes me do something with this emotion. Look at it carefully, with delicacy, tenderness, see it, hear this fear, feel it, and only then can I release it. Just like we're going to do today. Many people have trouble accepting what is currently happening. When you have not experienced the level of acceptance, you again think that it is passivity, and you do nothing. I repeat once again, this is activity. This is wondering whether I have any influence on this situation. I do not have. And can I do anything in this situation? Well, I can do a number of different things in connection with myself, with my thoughts and emotions. Because at these higher levels of consciousness we have access to creativity. This is a completely different action than from the level of fear, because there are a lot of mistakes, a lot of failures. And in acceptance it begins to flow. We are starting to see possibilities that we have not seen before. It's all starting to open up before us. And when you fight, you resist fear and release even more of it. Acceptance inhibits this process and allows you to look at your emotions from a distance and actively react to them, i.e., release them. By resisting the release of emotions, you repress them. And sooner or later they have to find an outlet, so there will be a situation or a person that will trigger this fear in you. So the fact that you react with fear to certain situations is the result of the fact that this fear has always been in you. See, your body cells, blood cells, skin cells, die and are renewed every few weeks. Part of us goes through the process of death and rebirth, being born in our body. We observe cyclical changes in nature all the time. We see this death, we see this renewal. Do you have any influence on whether the wind blows? Do you have any influence on the fact that winter follows autumn? Well, you have no control over it. Can you influence your reactions to this wind, to this winter? Absolutely not. However, you can have an influence, you can change your attitude, you can deprogram your mind, and release a lot of pent-up energies. Because this is what you have learned so far, what not only you but your parents and ancestors have experienced, and you often carry it within you. And you recreate this past. And why are you playing it? Because you don't accept what happened in the past and you have a lot of pent-up emotional energy associated with it. There is no forgiveness, no reconciliation, no acceptance. There is no understanding that your soul is constantly evolving and subject to change, and specific situations were necessary for your development. When you go through the process consciously, situations that were very difficult before, that were a challenge, begin, but now they are no longer so. When this awareness, this depth, this mindfulness appears, we go through all these experiences in a completely different way, which continue to serve us same way. These cycles are reborn and die, and we have no influence on what happens. We say no, I don't want this, I don't want that. And this means that, when we don't want something, it seems to push this fear even more into our lives, for every area of our lives. And life is a natural, spontaneous process of change. We very often don't like these changes, we keep saying that it's good for me. Life is a sequence of natural and spontaneous changes. We do not resist them, it will only cause sadness. Let reality be reality. Let things run at their natural rhythm, where they want to go. The point here is that resistance includes all emotions, including fear. We resist where something is happening. It is normal and natural that these emotions will come out of us. But our task, from the level of courage, readiness, and acceptance, is to release the energy of emotions that have been with us for many, many years. So today that's what we're going to do. Many people are afraid of their future, that is, they are afraid of what will happen. And again, what influence do you have on what will happen? You have such an influence that if you take care of yourself here and now, you take care of your energy level, your body, physical, mental, emotional, you will be able to feel good. Also in the future you will have the energy, strength and opportunities to cope with various challenges, which are waiting for each of us somewhere in life. And this fear about the future, these are all these existential fears, fears about death, because this is actually the source of all fears. It is the fear of death. Fear is also included in the sentence I can't cope with it, so even the statement I can cope with it begins to exhaust this fear. The most fears that are unconscious influence the decisions we make. For excuses, for justifications, for not taking action, for sticking to the comfort zone. You have no influence on what will happen because there is no future, and you won't be able to cope with them because there is no future. You can deal with the present. If you can handle the present, chances are very good that you can handle the future. But don't think about her, because that's the worst thing you can do to yourself. Think about what will happen. What else did I want to tell us here? That if this fear of the future often appears in you, it can destroy your plans here and now, your dreams, your goals, because you have no energy to act to achieve these goals and dreams. Your goal, dream is often connected with energy, peace, energy, love. They are very high vibrational. And if you enter low energy, there is too big a gap between your goal and yourself, especially when this fear appears in you. Fear about the future, what will happen. This is related to the fear of death. Remember that what you run from chases you, and becomes your truth, your reality. Look how many wars we are fighting. I mean, there's always a physical war. It's been taking place in the world, for as long as I've been alive, it's usually 90% of the time. There's a war going on somewhere, but there's also a war in your mind. The struggle, the suffering, is in your mind. You are just struggling with life with what is. You fight with yourself that you should be different than you are. You are fighting with your body that it is not as it should be. You fight with your child, because it should also be different, with your husband, etc., etc. Struggle is present in your life, very strongly, and very often. So this is another opportunity to see how much of this internal struggle we have, how much conflict we have within us, how many diseases it causes in you. These are specific diseases, internal conflicts. Stop running away. This is very tiring. Stop running away from emotions and fear. Escaping is the worst case scenario. Come to terms with your greatest fear, that you have been hiding for years. He is not here, and now. It's not from last week. Don't treat change as a punishment. Only this is development. These introductory words are needed. Now close your eyes. Find that space for yourself. Sh's really important. It's about closing your eyes and listening to your body, into your emotions that flow out so as not to run away from it. Don't suppress them, let them show themselves. You accept all these emotions with acceptance and readiness. Today you will release the energy of fear. Of course it won't be all the fear energy that is in you, but at least a little. To feel more calm, breathe calmly now. Drop your jaw, relax your jaw. Think back to the situation. Who did you feel the most fear from as a child? When? Who did you feel fear from? From mom, from dad, maybe from both parents. The child feels it, and fear is passed on. This energy is within you. It was often said, be careful, don't go there, don't lean out, don't step out of line. This, of course, was to protect you. But now, if it has been a lot, it can be very limiting in your life, in creating the life you want to have. And now see how their parents, your grandparents, stand behind your mom and dad. And the next generations. You don't have to see or know their faces, just feel their energy. Your ancestors. Remember that they often fought for life, for survival. Those were the times. But they succeeded because it makes you who you are. Very often they had to freeze their emotions, so that it doesn't hurt so much when someone leaves, when someone dies in the war. You have this war written down. It's an inherited fear, in DNA. And maybe your reaction to the current situation in the world is very big. This fear comes to the fore. Generational anxiety. Inherited from ancestors. This war in you, this conflict, he looks different now. But these are records of those times. Because somewhere, in some generation, there was always a war. Your ancestors made it. They survived. Because if not, you wouldn't exist. And you are. Look at them, at your parents. Acknowledge their suffering, the pain they had inside themselves, and expressed in different ways, sometimes strange and incomprehensible to you. They were trying to survive. Thank them for their effort. Tell them it won't be wasted. Thank you for your pain, effort, and burden of life. But I cannot carry your emotions, your suffering, fear, and the burden of your life. So now imagine that all this burden, all this suffering that you carry after these generations, you take off from yourself. You throw it all away. Whatever it will look like in the form of some metaphor. Just do it. You don't have to give it to them. Put it somewhere to the side, but let there be some metaphor, visualization of it. That I can handle my life, but not yours. I give up this burden. See, you put it aside. Imagine letting it out somewhere. You open the door and it escapes from you somewhere outside. And now turn around. Pay attention to your body. Because this fear has long been installed in your body. Where is this fear in your body? Or maybe it covers your entire body. Don't judge this fear energy. Don't analyze. I'll ask you questions. Is it your decision to release this fear energy from your body? From your life? Yes or no? If you can, answer it out loud or silently, to yourself. When will you do it? Take a deep breath and let this fear energy leave your body, your life. You can imagine that, where you have the most accumulated fear energy, you open the door and let it go. This energy of fear. You can imagine this energy as dark and gray, as it sinks into the ground. It helps our mind. And again, tap into that generational anxiety you experience every day. Is it your intention and decision to release this fear energy? Will you do it? Will you release? When? Answer out loud or silently. Take a deep breath and let this energy go. Now see in your life where in your life you spend the most time worrying. What are you worried about? What are you most afraid of? Stand in the truth. Look at this. What are you most afraid of? What do you worry about most often? And now, is it your intention and decision to release the energy of fear from these areas? Yes or no? Will you do it? Yes or no? When? Take a deep breath and let this energy go. Again, imagine this process. Like something from your body is released into the earth. You make this decision. You give an order to your mind to finally let go of the fear that does not serve you. The mind wants to cling to fear, because it believes it will survive. But fear is a product of your mind. It is actually a threat to you. Because what else is the body's reaction to a threat here and now? What else is fear, which is a figment of your imagination? You have no immediate threat here and now. You do not have. It's just your mind programmed. Who is bigger? You or your mind? Learn to control your mind. At least try it. Don't worry if it doesn't work out right away. The same thing will happen later. Your mind follows your commands. If you do this, over time you will take control of it so automatically. You control your mind, not the other way around. That's why you give instructions to release a given emotion, to stop holding on to it, because the mind believes it benefits from it. See now if this form of fear energy is stopping you from taking action in any area of your life. Maybe you're withdrawing, maybe you have a lot of excuses not to do something, excuses that you can't do something, that you're too old. This, that, and other excuses. Underneath this is the fear of not being able to cope. The fear of failure, and actually the fear of rejection. So now, what areas of your life is this fear holding you back? See it, stand in the truth. Courage is true. Level 200. Look at how often fear has kept you from reaching out, from leaning out. And now, is it your intention and decision to release the energy of fear? Yes or no? Will you do it? Will you release fear from your body? From your life? Will you release it so that it no longer holds you back from effective action? Yes or no? When? Take a deep breath and see for yourself how this fear leaves your body. Imagine it. Here we use decision, the power of intention, i.e., a command to the minds, breath, and imagination. And that's enough. Now see if you are afraid of losing someone or something. Feelings of fear about the future. Uncertainty of what will happen. Stand in the truth. Confront it, and at the same time accept that you have it in you. And that this fear comes to the fore, and it is an opportunity to release it. Very large amounts of generational fear and your experiences. So get into that fear, the fear of losing someone or something. The fear of the future. This is an illusion. Uncertainty about what will happen is not a real threat, remember. It is only your mind. And who is bigger? You or your mind? Say it out loud. The answer should be clear. You control your tool, the mind. You are bigger than your mind. You are consciousness. See this fear. And now, is it your intention and decision to release this fear of the future? This uncertainty of what will happen? Yes or no? Will you do it? When? Take a deep breath and let this energy go. And once again allow yourself to enter into this fear. See where it is located in the body. It may be affecting some internal organ of your body. Maybe it affects the nervous system. On your head. On your hands, on your shoulders. Feel it intuitively. Get in touch with it. And now you give a command to the mind. Is it your intention and decision to release the energy of fear about the future? Yes or no? Will you do it? When? Take a deep breath and let this energy go. And now imagine this process. Accept more peace energy into your life, into your body. Feel and connect with the energy of peace. Know that peace is also within you. This is your true nature. Calm, self-confident. Trust that everything is fine as it is. Now take in more peace with each breath. Connect with this energy. Feel it in your body. With each breath, there is more and more peace in your body. In your life you act with peace and walk with peace. You work with peace of mind. Say to yourself, I am peace. See how your breathing calms down and evens out. How such emptiness floods you. The bliss of peace. Your mind calms down. He stops talking. You feel calm. Stay with it for a while. Revisit it as often as you need to. Breathe in peace. Even after this visualization ends. Say to yourself today, I am peace. Repeat these words to yourself. I am peace. And start breathing deeper. And then take at least 3 deeper breaths. And make it deep. And exhale. You can open your eyes. I hope you were able to release your fear. Return to this visualization of releasing fear, because this fear may persist for some time, but with less and less strength. We can be guided in life by either fear or love. And these are 2 different paths. Contact with the body makes it much easier for us to work with emotions. Often, if we can't cope with our emotions, we do very strange things. Among other things, we eat excessively, or we eat something in a hurry, or we eat something that does not give us energy in any way. Well, have a nice, pleasant day. Lots of sun inside and out. Speak soon.